The ad for peanut butter was disturbing. Man dressed as a squirrel wanting peanut butter from a lady on a bench. Pause. Wait, hold up. We're not mentioning that without me seeing it. Okay, hold on. You said peanut butter ad? Also the Backstreet Boys cats? Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. I have to look this up. The combination of words you just gave me is something I cannot enjoy. Okay, so GIF. Peanut butter squirrel commercial, that's what I'm seeing. Yeah, peanut butter squirrel commercial. Okay, yeah. This the one? This one right here? Yep. Oh, hold on. I have Chrome muted. 2 seconds. Yeah. You hear now? Yeah. That's a lot of squirrels. What the fuck?
Jif peanut butter. It's that jiffing good, you dress up like a squirrel for it. Try Jif peanut butter and chocolate flavored spread.
King, you shown me a lot of weird shit over the years, man. A lot of weird shit. And knowing this channel, that's saying something. Blame Twitch. Okay, yeah, it's probably the ad. It's probably the pre-roll ad. For every hour we get through, every hour that's there, we get 3 minutes of ads. Not my fault. I set it up that way so people wouldn't immediately click on the stream and be bombarded with like 10 ads in a row. It has happened. So we deal with 3 minutes of ads so people don't get like 10 minutes of ads. It's insane, the ad policy, but people have been advocating for them to change how it is. But I thought I had seen some pretty weird commercials in my day. Let's go commercials where we were growing up. That's how it was where I was growing up in the 2000s. Like, do you remember that Doritos commercial where that attractive lady is eating Doritos on a bench? No, not the attractive lady. The dude is eating Doritos on the bench. Had the Dorito dust on his fingers. And a jogger lady comes by and sucks the Cheeto dust off of or the Dorito dust off his fingers. And then the next day he goes back and pours the Doritos all over his nuts. And then instead of the hot lady or the attractive lady going to like, suck the Dorito dust off his nuts, it's some really big fat dude who pushes her out of the way and runs towards him and he gets scared. That was a commercial I saw a lot. Now, mind you, something like that wouldn't fly nowadays. All right. But I would see, I feel like this is a problem with like streaming and shit. So to go on a little tangent here, I think, and nope, never saw that. Well, Boy Scout, I'm going to show it to you. Wet Your Whiskers, Meow Mix, Jingle Remix, Tabby 5 was another one I got done with the beat. So that's like the Backstreet Boys one. So this commercial, well, here's the thing. I was going to bring it up. So I think the main problem with so many different live streaming services where their whole purpose was to remove the absurd amount of advertisements you would get in between like episodes or during episodes of shows, right? That's the whole purpose of streaming, to not have ads. But now, I shit you not, almost every streaming service has their own form of advertisement within their programming. Some of it's very subtle, the other it's very egregious. And I think I want to say Hulu, because Hulu was supposed to be a competitor to Netflix. It was a great competitor to Netflix for many years. And then they added these tiers of subscriptions for Hulu where the basic one no longer gave you ad free, which the whole purpose of streaming is to not have ads, because you're not watching it on a cable program from like a cable subscription package. You're watching it on an individual show specifically from the streaming service. What annoyed the living hell out of me is my brother and I have had Hulu for many years. We've loved the service. Our favorite shows are on Hulu. It got to the point where we were paying more for the combined streaming services that we have. We have Netflix, Hulu, HBO. I personally have Crunchyroll and Disney Plus. If we combine all those different streaming services, that's exactly how much it would be for one cable package. But the difference is Even though we're paying the same amount as what we would be paying for cable, the key difference is it's like a tenth of the ads we would get on cable. For example, how we have it with Hulu, or at least in my experience with Hulu, I could watch a full episode of a show and not get an ad. But that could be because I have ad block on my computer. But when we watch it in the living room, we get ads after the end of every episode. It's not in the middle of an episode. It's not the first 5 minutes of an episode. It could be an hour-long show. You won't get an ad, and it would be like 2 30-second ads back to back, right? Because you can't skip it because it's on, like, you know, a smart TV, but they give you the option sometimes. But if I had a cable package, no matter what, you can't skip through the ads. Now, remember TiVo back in the day? This is an early 2000s thing. It was TiVo, where it gave you the benefit of pausing live TV and fast forwarding through it to an extent. And I think Family Guy did a bit about it where you could just fast forward through TV that you don't want to watch. So, because like the whole appeal of it was to fast forward through commercials. Like before streaming was a thing, and back when physical media was very popular, not everyone wanted to buy a DVD of a show that they liked, so they would just record the episode with TiVo. And I used to do this so much where I think I would record Scrubs because I really liked that show growing up. It was Scrubs and Game of Thrones before we figured out how to like just get the full episodes through like well, there was this, I think my dad at the time set it up to where he downloaded like season 2, 3, and 4 of Game of Thrones like as it was airing, and he had it on a laptop. And so I was in had to have been like my freshman year of college. So he had this laptop set up at our apartment where he was like, I know we don't have HBO, but I have the episodes on my computer. So we just HDMI to his laptop and we just watch. That's how we watched like The Viper versus the Mountain. And mind you, we would watch the episodes like a month late, so our friends would tell us what would happen, but it's still the thought that counts, you know? The Hopper, yeah. An hour-long show without commercials is only 45 minutes. That's something I've noticed. And the key difference is now, they would leave out that extra 15 minutes to compensate for the showing of commercials. Nowadays, they make a full 60-minute episode. And you could tell when they were initially intended for a commercial to air versus where it just would not have been there before. And it's sometimes, I don't know, it just feels like the pacing of television and media has changed so drastically that no longer can you just, because obviously now back then they would expect a commercial break, so they would like phrase the scene to where they could pause for a quick second, be gone for 5 minutes, and then come back as like, you know, to interject the commercial break. That's not a thing anymore. So a lot of modern shows, if they're not recorded in front of a live audience, like some of them are, I don't really watch many of those types of shows, but especially like stuff that's made directly for streaming or directly for like Hulu or Netflix or HBO, you could tell the way the director has to compensate for there not being ads by increasing the amount of dialogue that would have, like, let's say if they're adapting something from a book per se, and they just add extra lines of dialogue to compensate for there not having to be a commercial break, because it would just like, they have to make the scenes longer and add up more words because there's not that much of the book they could translate, so they have to make up stuff on the fly. A lot of the times that works in favor of the show, just filling in blank dialogue. But I've seen some times where it just completely backfires, where they'll just add in an extra line of dialogue that completely invalidates everything that led up to that point. It's like it's one throwaway line that they didn't really think about before adding it in. It's just like, wait a minute. What you're saying just kind of made everything for the past 30 minutes make no sense. But I feel like I'm rambling. We're here for Hollow Knight. I thank you for listening to my rambling, or just my little kerfuffle of like words. It's like a word salad. Damn it now. Wait, hold on. You said you never saw that Dorito commercial though, right, Boy Scout? Okay, hold on. I would feel like a not a good, like you'd be missing out if you didn't see this. This is a ridiculous commercial that I don't know how it got aired back in the day. Like, let's see, Doritos commercial. Doritos finger cleaner. There's that one. There's the one where the guy's on the park bench too. Yeah, funny Doritos commercials. Okay, yeah, so yeah. The baby one. Yeah, all the Doritos commercials are crazy. Okay, yeah, so Some of these are Super Bowl commercials from 2011. Yeah, look, the one I'm referring to is the one on the park bench. Contest elevator. Yeah, let's just, cause this is the thumbnails in it for this one.
Billy,
yeah.
use the cleaner.
Oh,
Yeah. How any of these got approved?
touchdown.
Yeah, it only works with Doritos.
Why only Doritos?
You ask too many questions, Billy.
That is the most ginger looking man I've ever seen. Yeah, look at this shit. It's a fucking glory hole for Doritos. This is the one I'm talking about. Yeah, look, Boy Scout. Yeah, look. So she licks it off his face. Yeah. And so he gets the bright idea. Pour Doritos all over his nuts, okay? That's not how it ends, though. Look. Big dude. Do you see what I'm talking about? That shit would not fly. Why is there a baby?
Look at me.
Why is there a baby?
I'm a little teapot.
King, you said there was a baby one.
Here's my hand.
No.
Here is
No.
my chainsaw.
What? 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 What the fuck? What?
Shake.
No. We're not. We're not. Why did the little girl have a chainsaw? Okay, dog catches Dorito. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. He's catching a Dorito.
Hi. Can you do that again?
Yeah.
Is that a chips? Aw.
Cool.
Doritos. They're cool when you're not.
Cool Ranch. Okay.
Be careful.
Thanks, babe.
See, that one's more
Don't touch
toned
my
down.
Doritos.
He's gonna let him die for Doritos, isn't he? This can't be the case. No, he is not letting him die for... He killed them both.
I am
Oh,
so
they're alive.
unfriending him.
Okay. That one's not that bad compared to the baby one and with the chainsaw and the girl with the...
Oh, there's the hand again. Quick, give it a Dorito. Make it go away.
Why is there a hand in the wall? What? Was this a portal? You remember that one? Yeah. Okay, yeah, so hold on. I have